So, this is it's going to be a very informal night, and I wanted to give those of you that were not at this event an opportunity to be able to just hear firsthand what it was like to be in Barcelona, and what are the leaders that were qualified for this event, what they came home with, and if there was one thing that maybe they could pass along to you, what would it be? And so kind of that's going to be the theme of tonight. You're going to be hearing from a lot of different people. We're going to be bouncing around. And then at the end of the call, I'm going to share what I believe is my prediction for the next 90 days. So I'm going to share my prediction for the next 90 days. But before we get into that, I want to just pull up this slide here for just a moment. There were so many pictures that were out there. And I got to thank individuals like Boomy and Sean, and they just did a wonderful job of taking all kinds of pictures. And so I got to make somebody a co-host. Boomy, who can be a co-host and help me add people to the room tonight so that I can? Thank you. Hang on one second here, Boomy. Let me make you a co-host here. Brian Robert is in the house. Mr. Cedric Harris into Hizzy tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Fresh off of his birthday. Good to have you on, Ced. Boomy, I'm trying to find you, but I'm not finding you in here. Hang on one second. If you can, raise your hand for me. There you are. I got you. There we go. All right. Thank you, Boomy. If you could help me just keep an eye on that waiting room. So let me just tell you, first of all, Barcelona did not disappoint. Let me record this.
Recording in progress.
All right, Barcelona did not disappoint, ladies and gentlemen. It was a wonderful opportunity to be able to come together. You had many people that were coming together from around the world. And, I always say that we come, as acquaintances, as business colleagues, but we leave as family. Wouldn't you say, guys, those of you that were there at the event, you come as business colleagues and you leave as family. I mean, just the camaraderie and the community and the ability to be able to learn and listen and to feel the heartbeat and the connection of the people that you're around is truly something that's special. And that's why, for ages, every top leader in the network marketing profession has always said, do what you need to do to get to events, because leaders are born at events. And I can tell you that, just very quickly before we jump into some of the leaders that were there and you get a chance to hear from them, I just want to say that for me, I came there excited about IX Global. I came there excited about X Nodes, but I want you to know that I left being proud to be part of IX Global. I don't know if that resonates or if that makes sense. I was excited about the opportunity of IX Global. I was excited about the X Nodes, but I left excited and proud to be a part of this company, proud to be associated with so many incredible leaders. And my belief is on an entirely different level. I came back so excited to be able to pick up the phone and to be able to reach out to individuals. And so those are just some of the things that I noticed firsthand. I want to just show you some of these smiling faces here. Look at this, you guys. Look at some of these pictures here. And this doesn't do it justice. I mean, I could have sat here all day building out pictures and what have you, but this just gives you kind of a feel for, let's see here. It gives you a feel for just, some of the experiences that we had. Everybody looks so sharp at the white party. You've got, you had wonderful dinners. You had the opportunity to be able to go and see the beautiful city of Barcelona and the shopping, the recognition, the flamingo dancers, being able to connect firsthand with individuals that are literally in the top 3 earners in the world and to be able to pick their brain. I mean, it was just a spectacular experience. What I'd like to do first tonight is I would like to invite my sponsor. I want to start with my sponsor tonight because I owe all of this to him for picking up the phone and reaching out to me and calling and just saying, hey, listen, Travis, I'm not trying to recruit you, but I've got something that I've really got to share with you. That was Mr. Brian Robert. He reached out to me maybe 3-4 months ago now. And that little spark has ultimately led to just, one of the most exciting opportunities of my life. And ultimately the reason why many of us are on this Zoom today. And so I want to invite Mr. Brian Robert to come on and share with us just a little bit about his takeaways and his experience here this weekend. Brian Robert, brother, are you there?
I am here. What's up, Travis? Thank you for having me on. Hello, everybody. Um, yeah, it was an amazing event. I've had a lot of people ask me, to describe it and everything, and it was, you know, been doing this for as long as I have. I've been to a lot of events. I've been to incentive trips and things like that, but this was a really high value. The production value, it just felt very much at ease. I love just connecting with people and getting to meet different people that I've only maybe talked to on Zooms, and some that I've yet to meet. And the the company that helped us do it, were there the whole time. We had our team, sometimes they needed a room or something because they had leaders that wanted to meet, or or different things like that, and it was just happening like that. I think probably for me the biggest thing, because I mean I'm sure people are going to say all kinds of things, and there's I don't want to dominate the call, but having just seeing that the vision that Joe had, and that a lot of us had as we started this company and got it going. Sometimes you get this idea, right, and it sounds like a great idea to you, and you think it's something great, and it's just kind of an acknowledgement that the vision that we have is something that is resonating with people. And seeing Joe out there, and of course Rosemary and the kids, and everyone was out there, and how far we've come from just this idea and this concept of IX to where now where it is, and what we've done and the growth that we've done in such a short period of time. It's even hard for me to wrap my mind around it. And then when Joe put out the idea and the goal for next year, in my gut I'm like, Joe, it's a big goal, bro. Like, I mean, we sure, we think, but it's kind of like, hey, I know we're gonna hit it, and so it was just exciting. Seeing y'all out there. Yeah, you got it right there. Here we go. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Not that it's not an achievable goal, but that's something that should be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years down the road for a typical company, if they ever even achieve that, which only a handful have ever in history achieved that. And for us to be, looking at that in our third year, going, is pretty amazing. So it was just great to meet everybody. The other cool part about this is we have another event that's going to be coming up soon. Now that we're doing these twice a year, which in and of itself is shocking for any company, much less a company our size. It just gives people opportunity to experience this. And I can tell you, it's well worth the fight. It was well worth the work to get there. And humbled and grateful that we had so many people, show up from our organization. And I can't wait to go to the next one. And I can tell y'all, I know some of y'all are new on this in this business, and some of y'all have been here for a while, and you're just getting started. But the more you dig into the ownership and the leadership of the company, the what you see is what you get, right? The more you get into it, the more excited you're going to be. And so anyway, that's it for me, Travis. I appreciate you having me on, and the best is yet to come. I mean, we were just starting. So anyway, thank y'all so much.
Hey, Brian, thank you so much. And Brian and I were chatting a little bit about this. Boomy, I'd love to go to you next, because I know you just had a wonderful experience, and I know you did an amazing job of bringing everybody that was not at the event to the event. And every time that I see Boomy, I get this warm, just feeling like she makes me smile. There's something just special and contagious about Boomy. But Boomy, that they spent over $1 million on this event. For a company that's literally only in their second full year in business, to invest over $1 million in their leadership. Talk to me and just tell me a little bit about your experience, and were your expectations exceeded?
Yes, absolutely. I was about to say that I knew I had to get to Barcelona, and Cedric Harris always says this: people join for the money, but they stay for the feeling.
Mhm.
And I knew I was in IX, but I also knew as a network marketer, entrepreneur, that I had to get IX into me. And that's what happened by attending this event. And I'm telling you guys, like, they treated us first class. They did things for us as partners that you don't find companies doing in the industry these days. I always talk about, I was telling some of my friends, like, they fed us before they fed us. Like at the receptions, like we got
Yes.
full off of the food at the reception. Everything was just top notch, and it was quality. And one of the things that really spoke to me, it was just the heart of the owners and the leadership there. Even Joe himself had the story of owners having disappointed you in the past, and just, ripping your downline from up under you, cutting off money, just things like they've experienced that. And his heart was, this company is different. I know, because I've been there. We're going to do things a different way. You can see we're already doing it different, and the longevity that he has in mind for the company. Like, compliance was real big, because he wants this to be a home that will last for us for many decades. And you really could just feel that. So just getting there was so special. I already knew that we had a hold of something great, but this is like greater than great, greater than phenomenal. I'm telling you, I'm just taking it to another level. And again, just getting to meet Travis, like, he was just the guy in the hard hat. Now he's like family, right? And same thing with, I saw Brian on a video, but getting to take pictures with him and just see how humble and down to earth everybody was, from, Mike Tharp and Ricardo now, and Sean, just so many people. It's like, we are IX family. And so this vision of the goal of 500 million, Travis, now it's like, okay, we all want to make sure that happens. And so now we're all are going to commit and push and make sure that 500 million happens. And so on the way, we'll all be going to, I call it HIP National Bank. So there's ways to make money in the network and passively. So we just have it all. So my partner, Dr. Daryl, came with us, and he says, look, he started network marketing straight out of high school. And he says, in everything that he's done in the past 40 years, IX is the best opportunity that he's had in this industry in 40 years. So that's saying a lot.
Well, Doc, talk to me a little bit. You've been in the industry a long time, and you've been to a lot of events. How did this fare for you?
He said, how did it fare for you? What did you think about it?
Is number one, first class, everything all the way.
Yeah, and he's been calling people today and saying, hey, listen, best thing ever in 40 years. You've got to take a look at this. You got to take a look at this. And when I'm telling people, oh, this is the best thing in 20 years, he said, no, 40 years since I started. Like, don't underestimate what we have here. So, and then one more thing we were inspired by was the incomes. Like, I'm a money motivated type of person. And so I want all the chick power. So shout out to all my wealthy women who are joining. But $800,000 a month from Barrage in less than 3 years, and other people 300,000 in less than 3 years. And so we're just getting started in the US. Imagine where we're going to be in 2 to 3 years or less.
Well, listen, it was a joy having you guys there, and a true pleasure. It was a lot of fun, and appreciate you bringing this back home to everybody, and look forward to seeing you guys at the next event.
I'll be there. We're not going to miss it.
You're not going to miss it.
All right. Well, listen, so you guys already heard from Brian. You heard from Brian.
3, 2, 1.
Hang on. Let's make sure everybody's muted here. There we go. All right. So Brian talked a little bit about compliance, and I know he was so excited about getting this topic, weren't you, Brian? But it was.
I told Joe, I was like, yeah, you want me to do this, huh? But it is important.
Well, and you did a wonderful job with it. I mean, I was like, I'm glad Brian got the compliance talk, but no, you did a great job with it. You talked about do you mind us summarizing maybe just 90 seconds, goose lays the golden egg and tie, like, how did that come together and what was the point of that as it relates to compliance here? And why are you talking
Sure.
about it now?
Yeah, no, I'll do it real quick. It's interesting, as it's kind of a story we heard, probably all of us, right? Since we were kids. And as I was thinking about this, it just kept coming in my head. When I did a little more research on it, I realized that the story goes back, the first iterations of it is like 500 BC. So thousands of years. And then it just really stuck to me, the wisdom of it. And, essentially it's about, there's so many different iterations, but very, very quickly it's about a farmer is down on his luck, and this goose kind of follows him home, and so he's like, wow, I'm blessed, right? And so he's take care of the goose and everything. All of a sudden the goose lays this little golden egg and finds out it's real, and every day this goose is doing that, and he's taking care of it. Well, over some time he becomes wealthy, and starts becoming an important person in the community, and starts spending a lot, and starts changing, his outlook and everything else, and moves all away from his farm and, all this other stuff. And at some point he's, kind of got the goose just locked up, and he's just like, hey, where's my golden eggs every day? And eventually the goose kind of stops laying, and he's like, well, there must be hundreds of golden eggs in this goose. And he eventually has this idea, is just going to kill the goose. And he does that. And it's just a normal goose. And anyway, he loses everything. And so it really struck me, because we are blessed to be in this company. If y'all know Joe the way I know him, and the idea and everything that we do have something that can bless us for our whole lives, but we have to take care of it. We have to nurture it. It's very easy to, put that greed out there, to say things that are going to maybe for a very short period of time give us an advantage. There are ways to manipulate things. There are lies that can be told. There are over exaggerations that can be told. We're a highly regulated business, and if we take care of this, it absolutely can pay us for the rest of our lives. And so we all have to be compliance people too. And I think I even said it on stage, like, not saying like rat people out, but it's like, hey, take care of your own house. Make sure you see things that are going on, or people that aren't doing things the correct way, take care of it. So that's it in a nutshell, Trav.
I'm talking over here muted. So thank you, Brian. I appreciate you sharing that. And it is important that we protect the house. We are in an industry that is heavily scrutinized and watched, and we all have to take our personal responsibility for not just ourselves, but our groups as well, because we want this to be here for a long time. So protect the house. Put your disclaimers up on all things. Make sure that you're smart. You're not using words like investment or return, or your favorite word should be potential. The potential gains for the future, right? But just protect the house always, and make sure that this is going to be around for a long time. I want to go to a gentleman who qualified for the event but was not able to attend, but he sure had a lot of representation there, and he was certainly missed and brought up a lot throughout the entire event. Mr. Cedric Harris, who is an absolute legend in this space. And Cedric, if you don't mind, I know you wanted to say a few words, and just know you weren't there, but you were feeling the energy from home, and I'd love it if you wouldn't mind just popping on here a little bit.
Hey, Travis, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
First of all, thanks for having me on. I'm actually in the car right now, pulled over to chat here real quick, but I got to start off by shouting out Dr. Darrell, shouting out LaRon, shouting out Boomy, shouting out Mike Tharp, Ricardo, the whole crew. So many people that really, truly represented us there. I'll tell everybody, anytime you qualify for a trip, always make sure that you double check your passport to make sure that it isn't expired before, because then you get caught with your pants down like me, and then you got to come down and look at a Zoom, and see all the fun things that happen. I was semi-depressed this weekend looking at Facebook. I actually just came off of Facebook for a couple of days because there was just so much going on, but listen, I'm excited to be a part of what's happening. You know, we've kind of been in the background working on a lot of different things. And, you know, when I see the excitement and I see so many people coming back just fired up, it put an extra boost in my pocket. And I started making some phone calls, and we get ready to go through this process that we normally do to have a little bit of fun and turn up some noise here. You know, so I would like to co-sign on everything that everybody else said. Definitely, you know, protect the goose that laid the golden egg, but pay attention to the opportunity that we have here. You know, anytime you've got the type of people that are around that are making the type of incomes that they're making, you know, that's called the clue, especially in a short period of time. That's called a very, very big clue. So pay attention to that, because a lot of you are winning right now, but you're just scratching the surface right now. Just look at the potential of what could truly, truly happen, you know, as we all converge and take this a lot more seriously. And I think that, you know, just I remember talking to Boomy before she went out to the event. She was like, she's exactly what she said. Said, I know I'm in 𝑖X Global, but I want 𝑖X Global to be in me. And I could tell she was so excited. I'm not sure if she caught a plane back, Travis, or she just jogged back from Barcelona. I'm not sure. I got a feeling that she jogged back all the way back. She probably had Daryl on her back and she just jogged all the way back, you know, but that's what it's all about. That's what it's truly all about. Being in the right place, right time. We've got a phenomenal comp plan. You've got an owner that understands the industry, that comes from the field. And I'm gonna end it with this. You know, I always say that when you're looking at opportunities, I literally wish every MLM owner had to build in the field for at least 5 years before they started a company. I wish that was a requirement.
Amen.
If that was a requirement, there would be a lot more smarter owners that are out there that would treat people with dignity and pride and look at them a lot differently. And I can say from firsthand experience from dealing with Joe, because he comes from the field, because he understands what we go through on a regular basis, he has that heart of an actual rep, but has that hat of the CEO. And when you've got the combination of the two, and you've got a comp plan that's paying out what it is, and you've got the fact that you can make the money in the comp plan and mining, well, it sounds like a win-win to me. So Travis, thanks for that call. Thanks, Brian. I haven't even met Brian yet. You know, thanks, Brian, for calling Travis.
Cedric, I was so upset. I think I even told Boomy, I was like, I can't believe I wanted to give Cedric a big old hug, but next time.
It's all good. I won't miss the next one. That's for sure. I will not miss the next one. But thank you for making that call to Travis. And Travis, thank you for making that call to me, brother. I appreciate it. Thanks for the cigars the other day too, brother. I got them. Appreciate the birthday gift. You absolutely right, bro. So I appreciate it. So thanks for having me on.
Hey, you bet, Cedric. I appreciate you. And you know, I want to. This just makes me smile here, you guys. I got to pull this up here real quickly. So as I bring on our next speaker, just watch the joy here as you see Mr. Ricardo Hamilton running up to the stage. Look at him being celebrated, all excited, all fired up. Mr. Ricardo Hamilton, talk to me a little bit about your experience this weekend, brother.
Oh man, I love it. I love it, man. We had so much fun. Turn up, we never turn it down. Man, what I got from that event, I'm telling you, it was all about global domination, man. I'm telling you, what we have here, we're so early. And, you know, I like to think that I got like good vision and foresight. And when I see, you know, this company, and we hear the story, you know, about how Joe got started. And when you realize the magnitude of the technology that we have and the exclusivity that we have with this international opportunity, okay, international opportunity. And so when we heard that, you know, the goal for 2023 was 500 million, and we saw the new node projects that were coming out, the rentals that were coming out, we were like, we're going to 2x that. You know what I mean? We're like, it's $1 billion, you know, and what really is next level, you know, especially when we talk about this comp plan. I mean, if this company, right, is going to make 500 million next year, we're talking about 375 million of that is up for grabs. Right? That's getting paid out in commissions. 75% around there is getting paid out to the field. At this time, it's like, write your own check. Time to go to work. This is what people have been looking for. This is what people need. So I don't see how you don't get excited when you wake up every day or log into your wallet every day and see that you are accumulating these tokens. You know, and this is what, you know, when people say that we haven't seen this in 20, 40 years, I mean, just imagine everybody wins. if you get a node, you're getting paid out in these tokens. You're winning. Doesn't matter about the price. You're accumulating the asset. You know, and so it's just really exciting when you really understand how early we are in this process. We're not dealing with hype, hope, speculation. The proof of concept is already done. It's just a matter of time. All we got to do is go out here and help people acquire assets, especially in this economy that we're in. We have the best thing smoking. So, you know, like I said, I'm fired up. I'm excited. Had the best time of my life in Barcelona. Definitely got to go back and spend some more time. And just looking forward to having more success, man. Just looking, once you start to feel success, you want more of it. You know, you want more of it, and it's exciting.
Well, listen, before you go, if you could give our listeners, some key advice, just anything that you want to share for them, like for them to be able to take their business to the next level right now with the momentum and the things that we have going on. I mean, let's think about this, Ricardo. We have gone from 20 million in sales last year to 100, and we're about 125 million right now, 130. We're doing $1 million a day, folks, $1 million a day. That'll put us at over $150 million. Let me tell you what that means. That means that IX Global is the fastest growing company right now in the entire network marketing profession. So Ricardo, with that in mind, what would you say to the people that are listening? What advice would you give them?
I mean, success leaves clues. And they say the proof is in the pudding. Documentation beats conversation. I mean, so with that type of momentum and what Travis just told you, obviously, we have something special. And once again, if you ever feel in some type of way, go log into your wallet and just see how you accumulate money, even though your feelings ain't in the right place. Okay, you just keep opening up that wallet, and then whoever you're talking to, it's okay to no means not right now. Doesn't mean not ever. You know what I mean? And next week, the following week, or whatever, the next day, hey, I just wanted to let you know I made $20 a day. I didn't do anything. Today was my day off, or I accumulated thousands of more tokens, or we just got a notification via email, and when you log in, it says another burn just happened. Hey, just wanted to let you know we just burnt a couple of more $1 million adding value to these tokens. The supply just reduced. Just wanted to let you know. You see, we have so much activity going on. There's always so much going on. There's never really a dull moment. There's always something to focus on, whether it's your token accumulation, whether it is some news and alerts that came out, whether it is Travis Flaherty doing a phenomenal presentation once a week, Sean Davis going live, the Running Show going live. There's enough excitement and momentum to keep you going. You know what I mean? And so, and one thing I talk about too is that doesn't matter. Some people just have a hard time sharing and bringing people on board. Well, you just make sure that you stay plugged in and you keep acquiring an asset, okay? Because we know where this is going. And this is why we're fired up and excited. We know that we're in a wealth transfer, and we know the position that we're in, and you right along with us.
I love it. I love it. Well said, Ricardo. Appreciate you. It was certainly a pleasure to meet you. And of course, you heard Ricardo mention some of the new projects that are coming in 2023. Any of the leaders that have chimed in or haven't chimed in yet, you're more than welcome to chime in here. But when I saw this slide, I got the chills a little bit, and it wasn't because I wasn't feeling good. That came a little later, but I got the chills because I was so excited to see some of these projects that are coming. Helium and propane and drip. Do you guys realize that? I don't know if I'm supposed to share this. I'll just share it anyways. I always get I'd rather ask for forgiveness later. Do you realize that we have found the largest body of water in the United States in the last 60 to 70 years with our scan technology? Can you imagine in an environment where we are in some of the largest droughts that we've seen in a long time, a scan technology that has the ability to find aqueducts underground, and what that could mean just from a standpoint of being able to find and tap into water sources like that? Could you imagine a token called Drip that was something along those lines? Could you imagine a card that you could swipe that ties directly back to your tokens, that ties back to something called Swipe? I'm not saying those are the projects. I'm just saying, could you imagine if they were? Wouldn't that be pretty awesome? So I'm telling you, this got me excited. That's for sure. I want to go out to, so while I'm there, I run into an old friend. This gentleman and I first met in 2008. I remember this, Kevin Latmore, 2008. I was in a in one of the juice companies. I don't know, there's so many of them back then, but one of the juice blend companies, and I was pushing my 𝘼𝙬𝙖𝙠𝙚 berry, or I don't even know what it was at the time, and I was excited, and I met Kevin, and we've just grown to be friends, and I've respected him from afar and watched him do so many things in the industry, to owning his own companies. And I got to tell you, this was the first one that stung a little bit, because I know Kevin. And when I saw him there, I was like, man, I wish I would have reached out to Kevin. And let that be a lesson to all of us. Because right now, I promise you, somebody's going to end up in this deal that you're thinking, man, I wish I would have called that person. But it was so fun to listen to Kevin get up on stage and just be Kevin. Kevin, talk to me a little bit about your experience, about your excitement, about just what's going on. You're new to the team here. You've been here for a month, and you've already hit, I don't know, executive, galactic, battlestar commander. I don't even know whatever the rank, you've been already hitting high ranks in the plan. But just talk to me about your weekend, brother.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And definitely reach out to people and call them. It was quite the whirlwind. I got into Barcelona early, left late, and I'm glad I did. Gave me time to spend some time with some of the leaders that were there early. And I had a nice little group show up, so I wanted to make sure and see everybody off. And it was good to be, just a fly on the wall to the best of my ability this go round, instead of having so many duties and stuff like some of the companies that a lot of us have been in together. And, every single day, this just gets better and better and continues to impress, not only from a product standpoint, not only from a compensation standpoint, but also the people, and I think that's just a real key ingredient that a lot of companies miss. A lot of the speakers that came up here before me mentioned little bits and pieces of things I want to share. It was really funny when said that all, I was there when that said got built, actually, or whatever, but anyhow, that all owners should spend some time in the field. It would be such a difference maker. They just have no clue what we go through, or they don't care, and they'd have a little bit more empathy. But regardless, everything that's happened to us has happened for a reason, to have us all end up right here. I remember when I first got introduced to it, I was really passive. I just wanted to diversify some of my passive income streams. So I said, I'll throw a couple of dollars at that. Seems pretty cool, which I don't do to a lot of things. I really got to like something to part with my money. And then I saw it working. I was like, oh, maybe I should put a little bit more in. That's pretty cool. You know what? There's some people that I know that are looking for something. Maybe I should tell a couple of them. And the enthusiasm and the speed at which they said yes, let me know we're onto something. And that just continued to repeat itself. And, I just think that we're doing this because we like it, but everyone's had a common theme so far, and it's my theme. More than how much I like this and know what I can do with it, it's the opportunity to share those with other people that need it is what's important, which is what's got me excited, right? And I think there's a lot of people out there in that boat that need something like this. On the passive side, on the growth side, there's people that want to get into crypto but don't know how. This is a great starter project. It could also be their first and last project. There's just so much here. It's awesome. And again, it's the right energy. Culture is everything for me. I haven't really done anything in the past 7, 8, 9 months, and I've been letting all kinds of things go across my plate, and some of them were pretty good. But at this juncture in my career, coming up on year 19, I'm not looking for pretty good. I want to play with a team that has a shot at the championship. I'm not just going to play the game to play the game. So I'll let good things go by until I find something super fantastic. And I truly believe that's what we have right here, right now. So get involved, jump in deep, and bring a lot of people with you, because once again, the networking world, just everybody needs it, right? Everybody needs it. Inflation is a real thing. Job scarcity is a real thing. People are just upside down, and this gives them a chance to very easily, without a whole bunch of hoops to jump through, get right side up. So it was a great event. I can answer any questions you have, Travis, but definitely share this with people you care about. It's a different, everyone's thanking their upline. Think about that for a second, right? Think about how very few times you hear that. Usually maybe when you get $1 million bonus or something, hey, who's that guy that told me about it again? But people are very receptive to this. So everyone you don't tell will be equally mad at you once they fully understand what it is that we have our hands on. You can't keep this a secret.
Hey, Kev, how are you approaching people about this? When you're calling people that what are you saying? Like, just give somebody a little bit of wisdom on what you might say to someone as you reach out to them.
Well, I like to play a lot of head games, so it's a little bit of a different. By that, I mean, there's two ways to build the tallest building on the street, right? Either you can build it or you can rip down any that are taller than yours. And that's the way most people build their business. And I'm not into negativity. I believe there's space for everybody. So I usually approach people from a very passive, both income and approach, meaning, hey, I know you're really busy, Travis, with what you're doing. You got the 𝘼𝙬𝙧𝙘𝙚 doing some great things for a lot of people. However, I've recently discovered something that's very, very powerful. It's passive in nature and a great way to diversify your income streams. And, then I just get into very broad strokes of, oil and the commodities and so on and so forth, get them to agree to certain things that we all know to be true, gas prices, how long oil has been with us and will be with us and so on. And just say, look, these things are backed by something. Crypto is based on speculation, on potential, on possibilities, on coming soon, and so on. And I love crypto, but, there's a very thin wall. You see how fast things can tumble, just as fast as how things grow, right? So it's nice to have something that has some real teeth to it. And I just really approach them with, the same way I got in. Just all I want is their toe in the water, because I know eventually they'll put their leg in, eventually they'll go in waist deep, and soon they'll be doing the backstroke. So, and it's very non-threatening, the approach, right? Don't vomit on them. Don't try to give them too much. Don't try to be too elaborate. Just meet them where they're at and use this as a complementary service or income stream is what a lot of people are most receptive to. And then when it comes to building and stuff, I love the fact that the comp plan, not that I have any, problems building however it needs to be built, and we all play the game how they say it needs to be played, but this is really predicated on focusing on the newest person. When there's too many rules, some people get greedy, some people get confused, some people do things that are disingenuous. Now it's just wide open, simple and plain, and you can really each one teach one. Everyone just help everybody win, and those that want it, we can go out there and help them get it.
Amen. Well said, brother. Well, it's a privilege and a pleasure to be working with you. One of the cool things about the culture of this company too, as you'll see, Kevin and I are cross-lined with each other. There really was we were one family. Everybody was just one family there. There's no games of, oh, my team, this team, your team, that. It's just we're all here to support each other, and I really do enjoy that kind of culture, and that's the reason why, even with the groups and the things that we're doing here, we've kind of just created a look. If you're looking for support, we're here to help. I don't care who you are, where you are. We're willing to fill in and chime in, and that really was evident throughout the entire weekend.
Yeah. I'll speak on that for a second, just to put some, everyone always says the right things on these kind of calls. That was another thing that was really big for me. No one ever asked lineage and this and that. Everyone was very helpful with tips, resources, whatnot, including Travis, who was getting pulled in millions of directions, had a lot of people there that wanted and deserved his time. And I had a pretty little decent group of people that kind of flown in, and we were kind of sequestered off to the side because we've just been here a couple of weeks, and some people were just kind of looking. And, Travis was getting a massage, and I just blew up his phone. Him out of a paid massage, and he came running downstairs, talked to some people for me. I told him just 5 to 10 minutes, bro, it's all I need. And then at the 15-minute mark, he's looking for, where we at? And I'm just like, hey, if you can do 5 more. And he did about an hour and a half. He even had a outing booked. His wife checked in 3 different times, came downstairs. Are you ready? He's like, I'm talking to Kev's people. She's like, fine. And then finally, she's like, I'm leaving in 5 minutes. Now, she didn't mind. She's just making sure he knew where he didn't have time to leave, shower, run upstairs, do whatever. So he gave up his massage, which was very well deserved. He gave up an outing with his family, which I don't know what Summer made him do to make up for it. But anyways, it was a real, I just can't wait to pay it forward. And I think if everybody has that kind of servant-driven leadership, this thing's going to go a long way. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you bet. Absolutely. Along the lines of just how to approach people, I wanted to share just real quickly. I did a training this week, and I'll be doing the full training for the team here over the course of the next week or so. I'm going to put an announcement out when I'm going to do this. But I wanted to just share some of the approaches that I like to use. I always say that questions are the answers. And, I wrote down some of the questions that I like to ask people, and I'm only briefly going to share them. I'm not going to do a training here tonight, but, just little things like, would you agree it's a good idea to diversify in a down market? I've kind of been positioning myself lately as the guy that's helping people diversify out of, or at least diversify from the stock market and their 401k into what it is that we have. I've done really well kind of positioning myself as the guy that helps people take a look at other options right now, just simply because of the stock market is down so much. Are you currently getting the results that you desire with your portfolio is a great leading question to ask somebody. Or how long do you think that it might take to recover from what you maybe have lost? Or Do you think it's going to get worse before it's going to get better? You know, how would it make you feel if you were going to continue to lose more money? You know, these are just all questions that allow me to be able to eventually say something along the lines of, hey, listen, so what you're saying is something has to change. And if you'll notice, when I ask this line of questions, I'm no longer selling, I am serving. I'm asking questions and I'm ultimately gathering information, and I'm asking them questions that allow them to be able to come to the conclusion themselves without me putting myself into a position where I'm advising, right? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just simply asking questions. And then from there, you know, I ask questions like, what's the most important thing to you? Making up your losses and or cash flow. And that allows me now to be able to come back and say, well, listen, let's take a look at some of the different options that we have. And let's say if you were to diversify, maybe we were to take, you know, 50,000 out of the 401k right now and put it over here. Let's look at what that could potentially look like in the future. Let's look at what that cash flow would look like today. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm there to help them make a well-informed decision. So, you know, we went through some of this training. We'll be getting more in depth into this training as we move forward. Let's go to our next speaker here. Got a little another video for you here, if I can pull it up here. This is another fun one right here. Let's check it out here. Mike. This was a treat for me to be able to be around Mike Tharp this weekend and to be able to get to feel his energy. Mike does such an amazing job on his Zooms and his lives. He and Ricardo are part of a team called the Runners, and they do an outstanding job with their presentations and educating. And I wanted to invite Mike to come on here and just share his experiences and his wisdom with you this weekend. So Mike, what you got for us, brother?
Travis, can you hear me?
I can hear you, man.
All right. Sorry, I'm had a friend's birthday party tonight, driving home. So what is the senior, you know, just how amazing was this weekend? Is that what we're sharing here?
Yeah, just anything on your heart, brother. Anything that you came away with this weekend, or any wisdom you want to share, anything at all.
So for me, you know, I think the thing that stuck out the most was how much 𝑖X Global said to manage your money.
Yeah.
And I've never heard that message so hard from another company. And 𝘼𝙬𝙖𝙧 Patel's speech in our main, you know, day of learning, I guess, you know, when Ricardo and I talk to the runners, it's about mindset and, you know, focusing on helping other people. And I guess it was just good to hear somebody else who's making $800,000 a month say the exact same thing. So it was just like reinforcing what Ricardo and I have been saying, you know, for 3-4 years. And it was just talking, you know, I wanted to really talk to the Indian leaders as much as possible, because obviously they're the ones who made this possible. And they were just saying the exact same thing we have been saying for so long. So it was just really good to get that clarification and understanding of what it really takes to win at anything in life. And I would just say about the whole, you know, whole weekend on every level was just absolutely amazing. You know, the balance of having fun, networking, getting education was just absolutely spot on. I've been to, you know, multiple conferences. You know, they're always good, but it always feels like it just tips too far to, you know, being in these seminars you don't really want to be in. And I just felt like they struck the perfect balance. Everything was top notch. You know, every event, you just felt like a VIP. You just felt like it was something that was special for us. And what I love about this, you know, 𝑖X Global and the Dot Box is that anyone can win at it. You know, Ricardo and I can use what we do to promote it, to make money with the compensation plan. But then we had our buddy Kevin there, who is not a network marketer. He's literally a construction worker from New York. And he bought so many no's with us. You know, I had an extra room and I said, Kevin, I want you to come with us because I want you to experience this. He has literally not signed up one person, but he's making money every single day with this opportunity. So that's what I love this, because everyone can win with it, no matter what, when you have income producing assets. And it was great to see Travis there, and, you know, to just meet everyone that we've been building this with for, I mean, just 3 months. Like, Travis, you got to remember, Ricardo and I started like at the end of July.
Yep.
So to have this life-changing opportunity, whether it's the money we're making with the compensation plan, the nodes themselves, and then this opportunity to go on this free trip to Barcelona was just amazing, man. So I had a blast.
Yeah. Well, it was a joy to see you there and to have your energy. It's good to know that you and I like the same tailors, so that's good too. But yeah, we had a great time, and I appreciate you being there, and look forward to doing many, many more trips with you guys in the future. I want to go over to our next guest, Mr. 𝘼𝙬𝙖𝙧𝙬𝙠. Eric is somebody who reached out after we first launched the business, and started off by, you know, at first just picking up some nodes and started watching the nodes, and then, you know, quickly started sharing it with others, and recently just hit, I think it's executive influencer in the company. I need to learn the ranks a little bit more. Honestly, I haven't even paid attention to the ranks. We've just had so much fun and excitement, but I know that he's doing really, really well. He and his wife, and they had a chance to go to Barcelona, and he's a huge node holder and brings a lot of value to the team. And Mr. 𝘼𝙬𝙬𝙧, talk to me about your experience this weekend.
Thanks, Travis, for having me. I appreciate it. You know, the one thing that I hear from everyone here, and what I experienced there, everybody is in this for a different reason. And that is what's fun about this. I mean, when me and my wife joined this, I joined this, you got to understand, you guys, I've been in the financial industry for 20 plus years. So I've been looking for ways to diversify and to get into other opportunities and so on. And I am a huge advocate of crypto. And when I saw what 𝑖X Global and Debtbox were doing in their relationship together, it just made sense. It absolutely made sense. It excited me again. I kind of got burned out with some of the other stuff I was doing. I got into this, and I got into this more to diversify. I got into it to look for a passive cash flow is really what I was doing. Well, I got in this, and I saw what this was doing on a real passive cash flow side of things. And for me at that point, I just had to tell everybody. I just had to go out, and I made a list. I remember telling my wife, I'm like, I'm going to make a list, and I'm going to start talking to people, because my intentions weren't that, but my intentions were to get in, see what this is all about. But then I got in, and I'll tell you what, it has just been absolutely, absolutely amazing. And I love everything about it. And you got to understand, this is my first, or me and my wife's first trip ever to be offered to go to something that we were rewarded. And when we got there, we had no expectations. We went, the only person I really knew there was Travis and his family a bit, and I didn't know anybody else. And so when we got there, just to meet everybody, and everybody was so friendly and fun to be around, and everyone you know, was an open book. You know, I'd ask them, why did you join this? What got you involved in this? And I noticed that everybody came down to the technology side of things. The software, the technology sells itself, and that's why a lot of people got into this. And I was like, man, this makes complete sense in how we can go out and take something that is so special like this and so unique and really get it out there to the masses. And that's one thing I learned when we were in Barcelona, is what the team is like, and what they want to do, and the direction that they want to go with everything. You know that old saying, the tip of the spear? That is what I feel like in this. It's the tip of the spear. It's that opportunity. And the reason why, there's jillions of cryptos out there, but there's nothing set up the way that this is, backed by the commodity side. Yes, there's other similar different things, but not the way that this is. And when I saw this, and I heard the owners talking about it, and like Travis was showing the new products coming out, it's all I could do to just not jump out of my skin. So I'm just very, very excited to be here. I'm very, very excited for the future of this. This is just the beginning, and I can't wait to see where this is going to be in a few years from now, and where we're going to be in this with me and my wife. That's what's exciting about this. is seeing where we're going to be and how much fun we can have and grow this together with all of you, with the family. And that was the big thing too. That's one thing I want to leave here. It is a family. You know, there isn't one person I talked to that I didn't learn something from. I learned something from everyone that spent the time and to talk about it. And this, I will be at the next one. We will be at the next Awaken for sure. So thank you, Travis, for having me on, and I really do appreciate it.
Before you go, how many nodes do you have?
120.
120 nodes. And so your focus right now is on just creating a true passive income, like a passive income for yourself that allows you to be able to live the quality of life that you want to live.
That is correct. And that's something we sat down and we said, okay, we want to be where we are now and where we're going to be. My personal goal is to have 500 nodes over the next 2-year period, diversified in all of the different products. And that's just a goal for myself that I've set out for myself. And I will achieve that. I will achieve that. And it's just one step at a time.
Yeah, and you could invest in real estate, you could invest in stocks, a lot of other things, and you're choosing to buy nodes right now, which speaks
absolutely,
especially with someone with the financial background that you have.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you so much, Eric. I sure appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
You know, I want to go here for just a moment here. We're getting close to wrapping up the call here, and I'm going to summarize things in just a few moments. I want to just share this notice for those. It was referenced a little earlier. I think that it was Ricardo spoke to it. But if you didn't see, we had a burn notice yesterday, and NatG burned 8,100,000,000 NatG tokens. 3,240,000 tokens were burned. Black Gold had approximately 6 million tokens burned as well. And so when you see these numbers, guys, and some people see or hear the term burns, I want to just make sure that you guys understand a little bit about what that means. Essentially, what we're doing is NatG and Black Gold, they both have deflationary mechanisms that are in place to help, they're designed to help reduce volatility, to provide, we use this term a lot, stored value. And at the same time, they also offer tremendous upside potential. And if you think about it, there's a lot of different opportunities that are out there where you can put your money to be able, especially in a recession, for stored value. But most of those opportunities don't necessarily offer all three. Some of them offer a great place of stored value, but it's not a cash flow type of asset, or it doesn't necessarily offer that upside potential. And so the fact that we offer all three of those is pretty neat. So what does it mean, though, when we talk a little bit about that? So Debtbox employs 2 types of burning mechanisms. They have what's called a buyback and burn, and they have what's called a transaction burn. And they're 2 separate things. Buyback is really self-explanatory. Essentially what they do, it involves the platform buying back tokens from that are in circulation and locking them into an inaccessible address so that those tokens are burned. Essentially, they're never used again. Well, think about it. If you have a limited supply of tokens and they are going in and they're removing a large amount of those tokens and essentially sending them to a burn wallet, well, you know, the basic economics would tell you that, you know, an increase in supply causes a drop in demand, right? And according to the fundamental law of supply and demand, and deflationary cryptocurrencies aim to reduce the market supply and increase the scarcity and raise the overall demand. And it's because the items that are difficult to obtain are more appealing, right? It's just common sense. And that's the reason why when you see Bitcoin every 4 years have a halving, you see that not only trigger an increase in Bitcoin, but historically speaking, it's triggered an entirely new bull run for the entire crypto industry. You guys may or may not know that we have a halving every year annually from the annual date, launch date of the actual projects themselves. So I think Black Gold is coming up in January. We've got NatG's will be again in May. So, you know, Eric, is there any thoughts that you want to share with regards to the deflationary mechanisms that are here and why that's so important with what we're doing?
Oh, absolutely. That is a gigantic selling point on this with this product. It's especially when the product sells itself and people understand the supply and demand ratios. And if you can get really good at talking to people about that side, especially on the technology with it, I mean, if we go back and we rewind here and we look at Bitcoin, okay, and Bitcoin and how it was structured and how it was put together and what it has done over the years. There is a reason. Now, this is remember, Bitcoin really doesn't have any project or anything backing that. Okay, so the side of it, of the momentum of the move on the upward side, is really coming from the supply and demand ratios. When you look at things, okay, you're talking about the burn ratios, you're talking about the supply diminishing, the demand is still there. Institutions now come in and start getting involved. And, you know, like Travis talks about, where you start getting, you know, like the Elon Musks and stuff that go out and they pump these and they talk about them. Well, that's what's pushing a lot of this up. Instead, we have amazing projects backing every one of these, which is the ratio of where they're making money and they're burning that side of it. You guys, that to me, that's the biggest part of all of this, is the supply demand side, where that supply slowly starts to diminish, that demand is still there, and we're on our way for a fun ride.
Yeah, I mean, think about just the housing market, you guys. In the last year, 2 years, you had a huge demand, limited supply. What happened to the value of those homes, right? So now people will say, well, how come tomorrow the prices didn't go up because there was a burning yesterday? There's a lagging effect that typically takes place. And first of all, I have to say that there are no guarantees that will go up. There's no guarantees in life, period, at all. Historically speaking, we've seen some of the effects of some of our previous burns. Usually they expect 30 days or so out. The last one actually hit it about 3 weeks in. It hit a little bit earlier. They were surprised. And at one point we actually burned a 0 off the 𝛿𝙬𝙘. And so we'll see, we'll see what happens, but it's definitely an exciting time to be a part of our ecosystem. Last speakers that I want to go to tonight. I want to go to my good friends, Kevin and Sarah Shabbat. They had an opportunity to be able to go and travel and attend this event. I believe, to my knowledge, this is one of the first times that they've been out of the country together. I know it's the first time that we've had a chance to, or at least Kevin and I have had a chance to be able to meet in person. And it's funny because he's like a brother to me, and it's the first time we've had a chance to actually meet. But I want to bring them on because I want them to speak, number one, to their experiences and what they came away with. But number two, I want you to know that you don't have to be an expert at crypto to be successful here. You don't have to be this crypto guru, understand the language, understand, the burns and the hashes and all of these things. All you need to be able to do is to be able to say, you know what, I don't know about that, but what I do know is I get paid every single day, but I can send you some information where you can you can learn more about it. And I think that Kevin and Sarah, at least initially, they maybe were a little apprehensive about getting involved because it wasn't necessarily their wheelhouse. And now they've figured it out and figured out there's a huge opportunity here. These guys just hit executive influencer. They're on their way to making, I think they've made over 40 grand in the last 2 months and 2.5 months, whatever it is. And they're just crushing it. And they're just following the system. And so with that, Kevin and Sarah, do you guys want to jump in here and just share a little bit of your experiences at all and take place?
Sure, we're both here.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Fantastic. Jump on in.
So I think Barcelona, I knew it was going to be obviously events drive businesses, and I knew it was going to be something that really helped build our belief system. But it's funny to say that because I truly feel like our belief system had already started to build before we even got there. I mean, obviously, we wouldn't be having the success if we didn't have the belief there. And just like you said, it was very uncomfortable and very scary to want to step into this realm because it's a foreign language. It's something I've truly never done before. I know Kevin has a little bit more experience. But at the same time, I'm using that to my advantage because I'm showing these people that, hey, you don't need to know too much about it. Just look at this. And once you do, I introduce them to you. And it's honestly like a secret game plan. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced, but I feel so good about it because of the times that we're in. We're truly giving people hope. I mean, I was talking to Joe and I was talking to Rosemary multiple times over the last week when we were there. And I just kept thanking them for what they're doing because there's so many people that are in this mode where they don't have time to sit around and wait for, the stock market to come back up or for, the US, what everything that's going on in the world to get their shit together, excuse my language. So we're giving them a way to truly save themselves. And I'm going to let Kevin add in here because I'll just go on and on and on.
Yeah, no, you could tell she's just very, very excited, very passionate about this now. And, this has been an incredible blessing to our family. And this has just been something that, obviously we were not really used to. This is not, again, like you said, Travis, our wheelhouse. But once, and the universal language is money. And if you can't have that conversation with people, what are we even doing in this industry? We're not in the business of sales. We're in the business of human connection, right? If you can connect to another human, if you can share what you're doing as a human, not as a salesperson, not as somebody that's trying to get somebody on board to benefit from, obviously, we want to share this stuff with people because, we'd be selfish if we just kept it to ourselves. If you're doing something that's amazing, if you're generating, income producing assets, and not sharing it with people, it would be a disservice. How do you even justify that? So really it's organic. And for us to be able to, come in and make this type of money.
I love that picture.
I love that picture. And just be able to make this type of money with something that we are not used to. If that doesn't excite you, if that doesn't excite anybody, we'd be very surprised. But yeah, no, it's amazing. This entire thing, coming to Barcelona, being able to hang with our best friends and just, have this experience under our belts is priceless.
What we have here is different, truly different. And I hope you guys see that. I know a lot of us have been in, companies where we felt like we found the place and we've been promised all these things and we've hoped that it was true. And what I can say here is this is what we've been looking for. And people, I mean, my goodness, I've worked with people for 7-8 years and they've, done different things with me and I've never met their husbands. But the moment that they looked at this, now I know the husband and they're involved too. So that says a lot. I'm sorry. I got to stop because I'll just keep going, Travis. And I know we're running out of time.
I love it. Well, I feel the smiles on your guys' faces. It was a joy having you there. I know I said that I had finished up with speakers, but I need to ask real quickly, is Sean Davis on here right now? Sean Davis here with us? If he's not, it was a joy, Sean, having you there and watching you speak from the stage. Sean spoke about challenges and, having to overcome some of the challenges. Sometimes those difficult. Sometimes we all go through these challenges in life to push us down a different path to exactly where we're supposed to be. And it was very touching actually for me. And I know everybody else related to Sean's talk on stage. And it was actually really, really special. So Sean, if you're not here tonight, I want you to know that your talk touched everyone when you were up on stage and had the mic, and we appreciate you and all that you do to bring the energy and excitement to the team. I've got one more person I'd like to bring on, Scott Stessler. Are you happen to be on the call here? I understand that you had a wonderful experience and would love to hear from you if you're able to unmute. And I know I'm not giving Scott any notice at all. Brian, is he here by chance? Scott, are you on?
I saw him on, and so I just thought he would want to say something, but I didn't give him any.
Or Sessler?
Yeah, it's Sessler, but you know what? If you want to jump in and take his place, go for it.
Let's see if he's there first.
Scott, go for it, Scott. I don't think he's here, but if he comes back on, Brian, let me know. Scott, go ahead and jump in. I know that you were there and experiencing this for the first time, and share your experience.
Yeah, let me make my the lights a little brighter here in the room. But I came there as somebody who had no intention of
of
doing another networking deal. And I mean, it's just what you guys have put together is so incredible. The family vibe, the integrity, the lack of hype, the lack of hyperbole, the fact that what's behind this is so rock solid. I mean, it is just staggering on so many levels. And the people. I mean, that really is for me what I had to come see. I mean, looking at what we had from an opportunity perspective, you can really see it. It's the copy trading, the travel discounts, the trading signals. I mean, there's just so much to this. You know, even if we, and I'm not gonna, even if we were to forget about 𝘼𝙬𝙧𝙘𝙚, and you know, Brian and Mandy just, oh my gosh. I mean, I had convinced the universe that I was getting a 𝘼𝙬𝙧 node somehow. And I won't, you know, bore folks with the whole story, but Brian and Mandy stepped up to make sure that that happened, and I just can't thank them enough. Kevin, Ray, Sherelle. I mean, it just being there was amazing. The people from everywhere, the crazy Italians and the Austrians and the just so many different people. This is so real. Is so real. And I went from somebody whose phone a month ago would have weighed 1 million pounds. If somebody's asking me about a networking opportunity, and there would have been massive amounts of fear getting in the way. And I mean, as I said, say to folks over the weekend, I feel like my phone's made out of helium now. And I feel truly, absolutely no fear. I was on the radio for 28 years. All the calls came to me. So prospecting in the past had always been something that I looked at like my kryptonite. And I feel a responsibility now. I feel like I have to go tell as many people about this as possible, or else I'm being selfish. And I'll leave it at that, because there's been a lot of great stuff tonight. And I just can't thank you all enough. And I know that there will be many more opportunities to share just how excited I am and how much I believe in what we're doing. And so thank you to everybody. We're going to go, we are literally, not Kardashian literally, we are literally going to go change the world. And I am so thrilled to be a part of this. And thank you to all of you. You're remarkable.
Thanks for chiming in, Scott. I really appreciate it. It was a pleasure to meet you, by the way, there as well.
You too.
So I'm gonna summarize my thoughts here, and I told you guys I would give a little prediction here. As I was sitting there in the room, we had a white party the last night that we were there, and these beautiful flamenco dancers come out, and they're doing their thing, and it was kind of I had this surreal moment where I kind of looked around the room and I saw everybody smiling, and it just hit me that we're about to explode at an entirely different level. And that's a big statement, right? Because we've gone from 20 million to 150 million over the last 12 months. And so I just was sitting there watching, and as they stopped, I went live right before they were done so that I could just kind of film the dancing. And I decided to go around the room and just start talking to people. And I went over to one table, and you know, we had people that were there from the UK, and started talking with them. And then we went over to the next table, and it was, you know, everybody from India. And then we went over to the next table, and it was, you know, Latin America. And you always know the Latin American table, they've got so much passion and fire and energy. So went over to them, and they just were smiling and so happy and excited. And then we went over to the Austria table, and I literally went around this room, and, you know, went over to Kevin Latmore and his group, and I sat back down, and I just thought, we have this little magic window of opportunity. And you guys have heard me say this before, you know, that's not enough to recognize the opportunity of a lifetime. You have to act during the lifetime of the opportunity, right? I mean, we have this opportunity right now. But here's my prediction. We talk about going to 500 million in 2023, and it's a big number. And Joe put up, you know, rentals are going to be a big part of that. I do have that screenshot, and I can pull that up here as I'm talking. But he talked about, you know, the rentals and how we're going to do that. But my prediction is this: over the next 90 days, we are going to see an explosion at a level that we haven't seen before. And the reason why I say that is because initially the company was positioned in India, it was positioned in Latin America. And then when we started to launch the United States about 90 days ago, maybe 120 days ago, you know, all of a sudden, and X nodes came on board, it just elevated the company. And with that, it started to attract now some network marketing professionals. And when I was sitting in that room, there were some serious influencers in that room. And I just thought, I just had that feeling it's about to happen. And some of you have been in a part of this happening before, where it's just the company goes crazy exploding. And I'm telling you that we're going to see that happen between now and the end of the year. If you don't pick up the phone and call your friend, somebody else is going to. And what's going to happen is the next 90 days is going to set the stage and set the momentum for 2023. I believe that we are now the fastest growing company in the industry. I believe that we are the hottest company in the entire industry. I believe that we are no longer just a company that maybe, is doing well over in India. We are now a global company that everyone is paying attention to. And that is what I gathered when I was sitting in that room. And so I would say that even going into the holidays, don't hesitate. Don't take your foot off of the gas. Momentum comes from acceleration. Momentum is a network marketer's best friend. Momentum turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. It amplifies everything. And we are going to go into momentum in 2023 unlike anything that you guys have ever seen. I'm just going to tell you that. You can absolutely change your life here in 90 days. Absolutely transform your life at a level that you cannot even comprehend. And my best advice that I can give you is, and I shared this from the stage as well, is you need to start dreaming bigger, and you need to start thinking bigger, and you need to start working faster, right? I mean, if you give yourself 6 months or a year, it's like, you give yourself 6 months or a year to accomplish a goal. It's going to take you 6 months or a year. But if you ask yourself, how can I do it in the next 30 days? You're going to figure out a way to do it in the next 30 days. Some of you guys need to get it out of park, and you need to get it into gear. You need to get your rear into gear, and you need to get out there, and you need to go launch your business. Some of you got into the business. You signed the application. You got your nodes, but you haven't launched your business yet. Network marketing professionals launch. What does that mean? It means that they put their head down for 30 days and they notify everybody what it is that's happening here right now. Those are my two favorite words, right now. If you don't have a strong sense of urgency about what's happening in this company right now, then I don't know how to help you, because there is so much excitement, so much momentum, so many people winning. It's hard to say the wrong thing to the right person. You just got to get out there and start having conversations with people, because I promise you, there's a ton of people that are out there right now that are struggling and suffering and trying to figure out, what do I do with my money? Or how do I go make some money? Or how can I create an additional revenue for my family to offset the rising costs of everything in the world that we live in today? And let's look at it like this. We have a solution to all of those things. And I'm so grateful that somebody at the end brought up that this is not just an X node company, that this truly is a company. Joe did it Joe did such a good job of commanding a presence as CEO and laying the vision out from the stage. And he made it very clear that this is a company that is about financial fitness and about helping people develop multiple revenue streams and learn and educate themselves so that they can keep their money. And that is who we are. And I'm proud to be a part of this company. So I just wanted to share that. Guys, it's time. It's time to kick it into gear. I'm taking it up a notch. My next 90 days, I'm going to go just absolutely all the acronyms I want to say, I probably shouldn't say right now. So I'm just going to go crazy. Let's just say it that way. So